Jen, nice meeting you.
Hi, Soonja. Nice to
How
see
have you
you.
been?
I have been okay. Yeah, I've been good ever since our session. What is it? A few weeks now?
About,
Yeah.
yeah. Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I was surprised that when you walk in, your mobile says, we are on the same page, right?
Yeah, that was awesome.
That was that was really something. Good message there for us, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So what have you found a difference within you since the session?
Yeah, in my mind there was a lot because I feel like it was almost as if the memory of everything that um maybe I saw or envisioned and experienced was still there. And
Hmm.
so my mind wanted to make sense of it. And at the same time, I felt a very deep sense of peace,
Beautiful.
and also healing. And, with a lot of some personal things that were happening in my life or are happening in my life, especially with family,
Hmm.
um, I really have seen them in a new way. And it has actually supported a lot of healing in my emotions and in the way that I perceive some of these relationships. So I would say that it was very successful. Our time together in being held in a really safe space with you, um, so that these can come forward, right? These messages can come forward, and yeah, it's been very enlightening, as I would say. Yeah.
Well, your session was just marvelous, right? I mean, you saw so many more, but we didn't have enough time to explore and everything, right?
Oh, I'm sure we could have went for a long time if we
Yeah,
if
because
we
you saw
had.
so many, I
Yeah.
mean, so much things individually, right? The one that I want to really ask you when you were in the session is about Lyra that you and I came from, Lydians, and you are
Yeah.
saying five star. What do you call it? What did you call?
Oh, a Merkaba, or yeah, Metatron.
Yeah, it's like a
Metatrons, yeah.
five kind of star, and then the stars were in five constellation. You're saying?
Yes, yeah. And that right. Now I know what you're saying, because I Metatron did come up, but in terms of Lyra, there were a set of a constellation, what appeared to be a constellation, and it felt, I can't describe how the distance of it, but
Mhm.
I mean, for humans, it's very far, but in
Mm.
terms of our galactic system, it's not very far.
Mhm.
That's the best way I could describe it.
Yeah.
And that the Lyrans have been coming to visit me for some time. And I'm really happy that you asked about it during our session, because there was this fear of getting close with them or inquiring, because I didn't grow up with some of this um, kind of information or knowing about beyond this realm anyway. And so when you asked about the Lyrans, and this is something that I feel often when they come forward too, is just a sense of also a sense of peace, um, compassion, and just an interesting observation that they have with humans, or they even when we were asking about them, as if they came forward and they were just watching, and really I don't know, just a type of reverence or regalness about them. This is what I remember, especially in replaying our audio together. That sense of just presence. Yeah.
What kind of people are they? Did you have a sense of them when you see the constellations and all that? What kind of people are
Um,
there?
The way that I saw them were kind of cat hybrids. So their face would look like cats, but very humanized. You know, sometimes when you see animals, you think that there's I don't know if you've ever experienced this, or maybe some folks who are watching this experience this, when they look at an animal and they say, it looks like they could just talk like a person. It's kind of like that. Yeah. These cat hybrid, the Lyran, and in the way that they present themselves to me. But I when I was reviewing the recording, I was able to see sort of like a transition in like a cat human type sense, as I was closing my eyes and seeing it in my, I guess, my vision or my mind's eye. But normally when they come forward, they, yeah, like as if they have a feline head, and then they can stand like a human. And then they also wear clothing, which is really interesting.
What clothing was that?
I don't know how to describe it except for the appearance of the clothing. It's not like cotton. It's as if it's woven with some sort of like silver thread, but lots of blues is what I saw. Yeah, blues, greens. Yeah,
exotic colors.
Yeah.
The people up there somewhere, Orion, Sirius, and Arcturus, and Pleiades, they all seem to have some sort of blues in it. Maybe the atmosphere, that's what they see.
Maybe, yeah, maybe, yeah. Or maybe in the way that we see it through our...
That's true too.
Yeah,
perception maybe too.
Right.
The cat face, can I speculate something like in Egypt we have a pyramid, has a cat person face on top. Is it something similar to that?
Yeah, so of course I have been looking at that because I'm curious about that connection, but yeah, very, very similar. Yeah.
That's interesting that many of us came from there anyway, right?
Yeah, and I mean these are things that I have I have not researched before or know too much about, so it's quite interesting, the journey of learning more about our galactic history, for sure.
So when you came in for the session, what kind of mindset did you have?
Can you repeat that question, Soonja?
Okay. When you come in for the session, what kind of a mindset that you had? Like some people come in.
Well, first of all, when I found you, I was listening to some things of Dolores Cannon, and I said, oh, I feel very strongly called to learn about this. And I said, okay, I'm going to see who's here in Toronto. And of course, I'm going to go see who the masters are here in Toronto. And you were the first one that came up, and I really loved seeing your face like that and your name, because it showed me that you were of Asian descent, and that I just felt a really strong connection to you, felt safe enough to message you and request an appointment. And so I already have this sense of safety, I guess you could say, in going to the appointment, but then also arriving, a little bit nervous, of course, going to a new neighborhood, and then of course for the actual process, just being open. Of course, my mind is thinking, oh, what are we going to do? And like, will I be able to receive, some of something that that will help me move forward in my life, or put me, on my path in a good way. So, there's this uncertainty there, but in that uncertainty is that openness. And yeah, I think that's always a good way to be in anything that we choose to do, is being open. Yeah, with little expectation. just being open. Yeah.
Yeah, very well said, because when people start to expect something, it doesn't really cooperate well, you know.
Yeah.
So just to let it allow whatever comes, kind of open, is the best approach. So when you were viewing the past life and all that, so did you have any?
What was the inner mind was going on at the time?
Oh, definitely. And you talked about that with me too, and in my own personal work, that's something that I support others in trying to understand that these are things that will happen. Our program, I like to call it the program mind, will want to come in and analyze and take over, and understanding how to distinguish between the two, or how to kind of appease that dialogue. And so yeah, of course that came up, and it did come up in the sense where it would drop in and it would want to analyze, or it would want to even go into pockets of memory of experiences that I've had before, or maybe some insights I've had before, through other moments of deep meditation or deep knowing. And so I noticed that in my recording too, there will be pauses, and that's because my inner mind and my my higher self as well, just doing the dance to receive, or to allow what is needed to come out as well. Yeah.
Beautiful. So when your higher self came in, what did you feel inside? What is the change? Did you notice any changes? What was going on in your mind? Say, okay, I asked you permission to write, and then higher self came in, and then I was wondering what kind of
State of mind you were in at the time.
So what I found that there were a lot of moments where it was as if like there was no inner mind, there was no dialogue. There were moments of it, that is true, but there were a lot of times where it was just flowing out of me, like I didn't know what I was saying. That's why it's good that you record it, because oftentimes you don't know what you're saying sometimes, or I don't remember what I'm saying sometimes, and we're talking for quite a long time. So how I could describe it is just like a flow, as if like you're opening up a tap of water very gently and just allowing it to flow. And you made it very comfortable for me to say, don't worry, just whatever comes, allow it to flow. And even in those pauses, you never rushed me. And I remember that when my mind came in, and you allowed that space and time, and you asked questions, clarifying questions, so that it could help me drop into an easier state of speaking through the higher self. Yeah.
Very good. So you were really deep in trance, and then you had so many enlightenment, like a subject was very explained so well, and you learned so many deep meanings of it. It was so pleasant session to conduct. Okay.
It was, yeah.
So when you listen to recordings like again and again, what is the changes that you notice
in you?
It's what I love about listening to the recording over and over again is mostly this, we have patterns or habits that we try to break in this lifetime so that we can, be better in our life, or whatever better means for us. And so for me, it was a good way to hear some of these messages coming through my higher self, and also through you and your clarification of the messages too, because then it kind of reminds me and solidifies, where I need to be in my own path. Yeah.
So according to the experts, the neural paths going this way, in olden way. Now, because listening again and again, the neural paths are changing, right? To this way, supposed to be the right way is this way, right? So
right,
that's very beautiful. Our brain is very plastic.
Absolutely.
Available, right? Any changes did you notice when you
Deal with your family members before and after?
Yeah. Yes, I would say that it's been a progression, but you know, just like anything, when we ground our consciousness in a way that is, I mean, grounding is the word that I want to talk about, because when we have a beautiful grounding, knowing that we are protected, knowing that we are loved, knowing that, you know, maybe we have, like I have gone through some challenging things, but that they don't need to be my narrative now, you know, that I don't need to hold on to them, or that they are released. And in that deep knowing, as, you know, time moves forward, again, it creates that grounding or that foundation and that energetic space for what I would say is positive healing to happen. And so a lot of clearing, especially with, I wrote it down because I wanted to make sure that I mentioned to you, a lot of clearing with my mother. That was one of the big things in our session. And I had this pain on my left side, which has definitely subsided, right? And the way that I even approach my relationship with my mother is much more with compassion and love than it is on trying to just protect myself. And same with my father, same with my partner. And then of course with my kids too, right? Just having a better understanding of who they are and their soul path, and how to nourish, you know, who they are as children and as individuals, so that they also feel safe and feel protected by me as their parent. And then of course my nieces and my brother, there's a lot of healing happening right now in this moment to clear all of that. And I think that compassion and that love, in which I believe the higher self really speaks clearly about, will and is, you know, really taking care of things on its own, right? And then as that compassion and that love moves through me in the way that I think, in the way that I see situations, in the way that I speak as well, in the way that I take action, then it kind of reverberates, or it creates this beautiful domino effect or pattern that will affect all my relations.
Beautiful, beautiful. It's like it sounds so melodic to me, you know?
It is. And, you know, it's not perfect, but, you know, sometimes when, as I said, the domino effect, when something, you know, makes that chain reaction, it's not always easy for it to fall, or sometimes it will turn a corner. And, you know, but the truth is that even in some of that grief, or in some of these places where, you know, it's not as easy, it's a truth that needed to be kind of cleansed, right? This is the way I see it.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful. Anything else stands out in your mind?
No, that's all I have to say about, you know, my connections with my family, that it's just being enriched, you know, ever since your session, just enriched with this new consciousness of compassion and love. And I'm just deeply appreciative of that in our work.
You did it so well. I mean, appreciate you, right? Because you let go and allow. That's why you were able to get benefit of it.
Mm-hmm. Is there any other way? Is there any other way than that, right?
People don't do very well. And so yeah. I hope that everybody understands, allow, let it happen.
To get the best benefit, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. Before we proceed further, I know you are a great healer as well. So do you want to talk about your work and some contact information if someone watches this video and then go to your help?
Right. Thank you for that, Soonja. I appreciate
welcome.
that. and that's one of the reasons why I came to you, because I do healing work and energetic healing work. I have a Reiki master's in shia Reiki. I've been connecting with spirit since I was very young, as I've told you, and connecting with ancestors of the highest good and spirit guides of the highest good, and working through ritual and ceremony and space holding. At some point in my life, I was also a counselor, studied social work. And so I really do feel this dedication of service and connection with community and individuals. But when we do this work in community and with others and holding space for others, us as healers also need healing too. We need a space to feel held, to feel belonging, to feel and sense that those reminders too of the healing work that we are transmuting in this lifetime. And so, which is the reason why I connected with you. And I just highly recommend it for anyone, and especially with you, Soonja, who is a really great space holder and healer yourself, and connector or bridge. That is what I do also. And so if people want to connect with me and have curiosity, you could check my website at jenmaramba.com, JENMARAMBA.com. And there's information about me there, and you're welcome to connect with me. It's very common for me to jump on calls with folks because, as much as, maybe a website looks like a business, like I do it because I feel very called to this work, the sacred duty of remembering. That's what I call remembering. This remembering that we are bringing ourselves back to wholeness, because the reality is in this world and in our most, recent past lives and in our past generations, maybe our parents and our souls weren't given that chance to have that space to be held in this way. And so I'm in this acknowledgement that, this is where I am to support others in that journey in whatever way they feel called.
And I know that you have so many psychic abilities. And then just curious, how did you acquire, or how did it come to you?
I love that question, because I feel like it's a journey. I feel like it's always been with me since I was young. And I didn't have parents that were very supportive of my spiritual inquiry because we were very strict Catholic. And, I see then again, here's this piece of compassion and love that I don't hold that against them. That is what they needed for their survival, for their spiritual survival. And so they weren't very open with it. But in my 20s, I'm 40 now, but in my 20s, I became a lot more curious about it, because every time I would touch somebody, I would fall sick right away. And I said, okay, I better get this. I better find somebody who can help me with this. And so throughout my 20s, I connected with a lot of Indigenous elders, because that's who I felt was the only people available to me that aligned with my connection with earth energies and spirits, and that was grounded in a good way. Then I met my Reiki teacher, Salima Pirani. She lives in Scarborough, very gifted and powerful healer as well. And I did my course through her to receive my Reiki master. And during our master's program or learning, we had to learn psychic development. And so that was when it really refined. I would say that the Reiki and that psychic development course really refined my abilities and gave me structure to what I do. Yeah.
Yeah. When I learned about your, not the ordinary Reiki that most people are aware, but your lineage of shia Reiki, something you said, that's unique. Could you explain a little bit about for people? And for me too.
Sure. And I mean, we know that Reiki in general all stems from Japan, right? And but of course, through whatever means, individuals or teachers branched out and created their own. And so Siam Reiki is grounded in Thailand. Okay. And it's SIAM. So anybody's welcome to research about it and learn about it. There's a lot of focus on healing the body too, and also this, the spiritual side. It's really a holistic way of healing. It is very different from what I hear from the traditional Reiki, and has branched out significantly from traditional Reiki, which is something that I'm aware of, and something for individuals or even just people in general to think about. The history, how things change through individuals taking something and then transforming it to be something else as well. But yeah, it's for me, in that awareness of how things have shifted. I have and I am doing a lot of more research with the history of Reiki, which I don't think is always taught in all Reiki classes, and like the traditions, and like it being rooted from a very deep cultural and religious, and also just a divine place of knowing that honors the people in which it comes from. And what I'm trying to say here is that Siam Reiki, for me, being grounded in Thailand, I'm learning so much too about Theravada Buddhism as well, and alongside having this ability or this certificate, this skill in Reiki healing. And definitely the community that I work with or work within are really great healers, and really care about healing others. We often share names or individuals that need healing for that time, and have seen and been a witness to some very profound healing within community. And so that's all I can say for now. And like, I invite anybody to just message me if they have questions, or if they want to research on their own. Yeah.
So your website again, could you spell it?
Yeah, jenmaramba.com, JENMARAMBA@.com. Yeah, that's my email, gmail.com. You can email me too, jenmaramba@gmail.com, or jenmaramba.com is my website.
Fantastic. Okay, so I'm gonna bring you back to the world, yeah.
Yeah, sure, let's do it. Yeah.
The sessions, and okay, so you were noticing the changes of human relationship with your family specifically, right? And for your own personal sleep patterns or eating habits, or did you find anything changes occurred, or how is the sleeping patterns?
So immediately after, my sleeping patterns were really great. My dreams went from being so vivid and a little bit disruptive of my physical well-being to just being a little bit silent. And I don't mind that. I could use a little bit more silence at night. And so, and physically, eating wise, nothing much there, although I have been wanting to and making small little gentle actions to take care of my body a bit better, moving my body, moving energy through my body, remembering my rituals, my own personal ways that support my well-being. Yeah.
How did you find the meditation? Your daily quietness? Did you experience anything?
Yeah. I would say that it just brought more awareness to that presence of this lifetime, right? Of just like, you know, even sitting here and talking to you and notice that I'm talking to you and noticing that the temperature of my body is feeling a certain way. And also thinking about my child and the other, you know, just having this presence of awareness, not with any expectation and not with any, you know, worry or anything like that, but just in kind of this observation, which is sort of the practice of meditation and mindfulness meditation that I practice throughout the day in general. Yeah.
Very nice. So basically, you're meditating every moment.
I'm trying to, yeah, and I think that that's the purpose. Yeah, right. And even in those moments when I find that, like, oh, my mind was just gone there for like a good chunk of time, and being in that awareness that my mind is very busy also, so that you know, the act of mindfulness meditation sort of arriving more quickly and more and integrating a little bit more with my daily life, for sure.
Beautiful. Excellent. Anything else would you like to share?
Yeah. I feel like the presence of, you know, when we went in through our journey together, and just the connection with a lot of the messages have really just created this solidified this sense of purpose in me. Not that I didn't know before, but that that it made me sit down in my purpose. You know, sometimes we get up from the seat a little bit to like look around, and then we get confused, and then, you know, just relax a little bit. So yeah, that's the way that I could describe it.
Yeah, because you know now what's your life purpose clearly and validated by your higher self, right?
Right.
There is no question or no wavering. Just,
that's right.
Yeah, for sure, this is the way you are going. You're on the right path, and
that's right.
Question itself, it gives you so much peace of mind.
That's right.
Yeah, because until we know, we keep searching. Like, what is this one? How about that one? And this and that, right? But no more search, but we can go directly zoom in for that. Without nothing, right?
Right. And the recording is great for that, because then I could revisit those messages anytime if I feel like I'm a little bit far away from the purpose, or something has happened, or you know, I need a reminder. I could just play it and listen again.
Yeah, put your right back on the track.
That's right.
Beautiful. Good. So any world views around you has changed in some degrees?
Not so much. Again, it's just this solidifying of like the path that I'm on, and that, you know, each one of our paths are very much interconnected with others and everything, and all things in life. You know, we know that there is a lot of stuff happening in the world, and a lot of things to worry about, and uncertainty in the future. And again, it just brings you back to that presence. Like, yeah, those things bother me, and yeah, they make me mad, and yeah, there's ways to create action on that, you know, but there is no reason of getting emotionally upset at or with that. And not to say that doesn't happen. We have these initial reactions, but that worrying about it is not going to do anything. And if we want to make changes, then we have to start making changes within, and then also making changes around us as well. And so I feel like the way that I do that is to just continue on with my work, and keep allowing that space for questioning of where we can act upon, or where we can put more energy towards, so that we can make changes in our community, in our family, within our own self. And the thing is that when we work on ourselves, then it will just, again, reverberate.
Very good. So now that you have done your session, and what would you give advice for people who is coming for the first time for their session?
Yeah, I would say follow Soonja's instructions to journal with your higher self. Release any expectations you have. Like if you have certain, it's good to come with questions, of course. But once you formulate those questions, to then take a deep breath and then just kind of release it. We have an expression that is in my culture in Tagalog with Filipinos is bahala na, which is like this essence of just being open to receiving, but then also releasing or surrendering to what is in the divine will of source. And so just, yeah, exhaling with that deep intention that all will be brought forth into like what needs to be known, right? Bring water. Soonja's really good. She makes tea for you, and sometimes we'll give you a snack. She gave me a snack, which was amazing because I felt so hungry. And I think like every time I journeyed somewhere, there was food, and then I started to get hungry. Yeah, just to be open to what can be revealed to you, and afterwards, not to analyze things so much, right? Don't go into that trap of analyzing what just happened, or analyzing even some of the information that came through. And I think it's easy for folks to be in self-doubt, because that's what we're used to. And so that's another thing to breathe with and exhale with, is just noticing that self-doubt is there, and breathe it out, and know that, our higher selves are truly speaking through us in this way, and that we have access to it all the time. And that, Soonja you are a very great space holder, and you're able to cultivate a lot of trust, and it requires the individual too that's arriving to just breathe and release any expectations and be open.
Beautiful. As a forerunner, you are giving a beautiful advice for the people who's coming after, right?
Yeah.
Some people, well, they're saying they're open-minded and everything, but then when they lie down and they are really have their own mindset already made up, and say,
that's right.
Well, this is not working. This is not what I was expecting. And then they're ready to come out. And
right.
One lady, I just had it. She says, "No, I'm going to end the session." I says, "Why?" Because it's not working. Well, she had all this past life, and she viewed everything, and her conscious mind went in
and say, "Well, it's not working. I'm going to end the session." I said, "Why?" "Because it's not working." So I said, "Okay, close your eyes, continue talking." And then she had her higher self came in, had all kinds of incredible healings done. So see how the conscious mind interrupts. As soon as there is a little space, they come in and jab you. And then, and some people, they say they're open, have no expectation. Once they lay down, I get to know the truth, what they were really having, right? But what they say is not always what they really believe in. So with so much expectation, it's not really beneficial. So
yeah, right. And I'll say too, even though I do very similar work, and and doing a lot of healing work, which involves, you know, people who, you know, come to work with me to be in that deep trust. I also witnessed that. And so I understand what it is like also for myself. Like I want everybody to know that, you know, even with my own personal experience in working with Soonja, and also just in general in my life, that again, that programmed mind or that conscious mind will want to come in and disrupt and challenge and question and analyze and do all of these things. And the honest truth is that I also did that too. Like, you know, before, during, after our session also. But it's acknowledging that, oh, that is that part of my mind that is used to doing that. And that's okay. That's okay. That's what happens. But you can keep quiet now, because I'm here to listen to this part of myself that I have ignored for my whole lifetime. And that's not anybody's fault. It just wasn't taught to us. Yeah.
Beautiful. That's just marvelous. Talking with you. And then anything else would you like to add?
No, just thank you so much, Soonja. It was very lovely meeting you. I look forward to working with you again sometime in the future. I highly recommend anybody that has been considering doing any kind of regression work or receiving messages from their higher self to you know, see Soonja and just trust and relax yourself and be open to receiving.
Thank you. And it has been a pleasure, and hearing you sharing your experiences. And I would like to talk forever with you.
Oh,
yeah, I know.
But we will have to wait until the next time that you have a
moment to share more about your experiences.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you very much for investing your time for others. And so we're going to see again. And until then, you take care of yourself.
Take care.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.